Welcome to the It Girl Podcast, where we discuss living life like the It Girl. Our host, Erica Passy, brings on different guests to talk about their perspectives on all things It Girl lifestyle. She covers topics such as wellness, fashion, travel, and current It Girl trends. And now your host, Erica.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the It Girl Podcast. This is a production of the CLU podcasting class, so thank you to this class for allowing me to use the studio. This is where we talk about all things It Girl related, a lot of fun stuff. Today we have Regan back on. And so today we're going to be talking about some tips for how to stay motivated for anyone who's in college, or even something that can translate to just general life and work. And so college can sometimes be hard to stay motivated for. I know that there's also like certain levels to it, like depending on what grade level you're in or what year you're in, you might just feel like more or less motivated. I feel like if you're like a freshman, you first starting out in college, you're like a little bit more motivated because you're fresh into it. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, I want to start off with good grades. But by the time you're getting into like end of sophomore year, junior year, you're like, how do I keep doing my homework type of thing?
Yeah.
And so I feel like often for me, at least, normally halfway through like whatever semester I'm in, I start like craving a break, like if it's fall semester, I'm like, I need Thanksgiving right now. If it's spring semester, it's like, I need my spring break right now.
Yeah.
You start hitting that wall and it's like, okay, I need some time for myself now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I feel like every single year I get my classes, I'm like, I'm so excited. Like, this is going to be awesome. Get my new books, get my new pencils, paper, whatever. And then you get to class. Sometimes even on the syllabus day, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's going to be a rough one. But definitely have to take advantage of all the breaks, too.
Oh, yeah.
I am super, like, right now I'm definitely in the summer mode. Because it's so close, but there's so much we need to get through still.
Yeah. Do you have any experiences personally of feeling like burnt out or unmotivated?
Yeah. I've kind of have been feeling a little burnt out like recently. Mm-hmm. I went through a really weird week where I was just like didn't really care about anything. I'm like, I don't want to do my homework. Whatever I get on my tests. But it's frustrating looking back, like, that I wasn't able to push through that. I kind of let everything kind of go a little bad for a week.
Yeah.
But, I think it's just part of life. I also had a really, really bad time when I was in high school. It was my freshman year of high school. And I had a couple surgeries. It was in the spring, I would say around like February. I think my first surgery was in January. My second one was middle of February, middle end. And I missed a lot of school. And, not only was I missing school, I was also on pain medications when I was back. And I was like, I can't focus on this. I'm already so behind. Like, I just kind of gave up for a little bit.
Yeah.
And, it's so, you're going to have moments where you're not going to be able to be in school, and the feeling of being so overwhelmed and feeling like you're not going to catch up on any of that really can set you back sometimes.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you just have to do your best and just push, I guess. But
I feel like for me, I'll just like randomly get, I'll lose like my motivation, and it definitely depended on the year for me. I feel like my junior year, I definitely got a lot of moments of just feeling like burnt out, and like I just didn't want to be doing my classes, especially because I think it was my junior year. There was one point where I was taking like 2 honors classes at a time and stuff like that, and I was just like, I was pushing like way too hard.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the first semester, I think, like, ever that I've just stayed so ahead of it that I'm not feeling like that burnt out.
That's awesome.
And it's funny because it's my last one. So
no senioritis for you.
I know.
I feel like also
I had like the opposite.
Yeah. Also during COVID, I don't know if that happened to you. Did you go on Zoom high school?
No, I don't think we did Zoom high school. I think we just got kind of let through.
Really?
Yeah, because I think about it often, and I'm like, okay, well, for one, how do I not remember my COVID, like, little last 2 months? But I'm pretty sure we didn't do, like, anything for school. I think we just got to, like, stay home, not do anything, and we graduated.
What?
So I don't remember doing school online.
Oh my gosh, Zoom school killed me.
Yeah.
I just, I'm staring at a screen. I
Yeah.
feel like, how am I already sometimes fall asleep in regular classes. How am I supposed to stay awake on Zoom? Like, no one would know.
Yeah.
So that got me for sure.
That got me freshman year. I was not paying attention on Zoom. Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah. What do you like to do to stay motivated?
So I kind of think about this sometimes, and I think, there's things that I do to stay motivated. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's important to kind of realize that sometimes you're not going to be motivated, and that's when it's really going to come down to how disciplined you are. Mm-hmm. So I kind of try and keep that mindset, and I just I'm kind of scared of failing a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that mindset that you have to realize that you're not going to want to do it. But are you going to give up? Are you going to, let your emotions and your feelings get in the way of, like, doing something? Like, even if, sometimes I don't want to get something, I don't have the energy to do it, at least getting it started.
Yeah. Sometimes when you just start it, then you get the need and you're like, okay, actually I can finish this now.
Yes. Literally my boyfriend was telling me about this 85% rule. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's like, if you just have the mindset that you're going to get 85% of something done, mm-hmm. you're so much more productive. He's also talking about, he listens to podcasts a lot. I think he heard this on a podcast. I don't know. I can't credit whoever it is. But he said the 5-minute rule is like 5 minutes, like right before you go to bed, set a timer for 5 minutes, and then anything that's on your mind pressing you, just get it done.
No, I've done like a similar thing to that too, because I heard about some kind of rule. I think it was like longer than 5 minutes, so I think mm-hmm. it was like it's probably like 10-15 minutes. Yeah. It was like, if you have been feeling like you needed to clean something, but like, or do some kind of chores, like just set a timer for 10 minutes and just do the chores for those 10 minutes. And then you start doing them, and then all of a sudden I've cleaned my whole space. Yeah. Because like once I start, I'm not gonna stop at that point. So then it feels good that I've cleaned my whole like closet or my bed area, and then I'm just gonna do the whole thing. Exactly.
That's like my downfall, is because say I go home, I need to clean, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes I'll go home and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna lay in bed for like 5 minutes, like I'm exhausted.
Yeah, if you do like the opposite, if you do the 5 minutes of laying down, you're not getting up.
Dude, it's physics, and object in motion stays in motion, and object at rest stays at rest.
Yeah.
So I be resting sometimes. Yeah. Like, I don't know. But once you get it going, like, you're just on a roll.
Like, I've done a similar thing with like also some of my like wellness type of stuff, where it's like if I know I need to take some time to meditate in the day, or like I need to journal or something, I'll be like, okay, or reading too. If I'm like in a mindset where I'm like, I really want to read a book, but like I don't want to read, like, mm-hmm. I've been thinking about it for a few weeks, but I didn't actually pick up the book.
Yeah.
With any of those, I'll be like, okay, let me just do it for 5 minutes. That way I feel accomplished. I feel like I actually touched the subject. And then I start doing it, and then I don't stop.
Yeah.
And it works.
Exactly. And I feel like, not to diss on social media once again on a social media project, but social media, it's literally meant to distract you from those real life, natural passions that you have.
Yeah.
It's meant to capture your attention, and then, mm-hmm. You spend an hour scrolling on Instagram. How much of that are you actually going to retain, as opposed to cleaning your whole room and some? Like, it really doesn't take that long to clean your room.
Yeah.
But, if you, pick up, you fold a shirt, go on Instagram for 5 minutes, fold another 2 shirts, scroll on TikTok, that's what's going to take long. And your brain convinces you that you don't have time for things. You really do.
Yeah.
But, that's something I'm glad that I'm talking about, because I need to reinforce that in myself.
Yeah.
But another thing that I do to stay motivated is I like to pretend that I'm in a movie, like I'm like a main character, right? Like, that's why I love doing homework at Starbucks, because I feel like nobody's looking at me, right? In reality, nobody is. But I have to, like, be working because, like...
So otherwise it's
no
like,
one
what
can
if someone is looking?
Yeah,
They can't catch you
exactly.
slipping at
They
that point, so you
can't.
got to keep doing your work.
They can't. You have to. And then I get in a zone, and then I'm listening to music, and then I'm just like, wow. Because I feel like we, you know, we're so conditioned to think, oh, school sucks. Like, I don't want to do this. But academic, like, you know, success is so rewarding. And when you actually, like, fully understand something and know you worked hard on something and, you know, get a good, whenever I get, like, a good test grade, like, I feel like there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, in Zoom school, everyone cheated a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's not a secret.
I'm worried about the doctors of our future and the nurses of our future. It's like, if they cheated, bro, what?
Dude, what are we? Yeah. But when I take a real life test and I get my grade back and I know I did that myself, I didn't rely on a computer, I didn't rely on Quizlet, I didn't sneak off to the side of the Zoom call, I feel like I'm just, you know, on top of the world.
Yeah.
And we forget about that. We always like, oh, like, tests, they suck. No.
The gratitude of hard work.
Exactly. And I'm, once again, maybe I'm saying this to convince myself because I definitely have some studying I have to do this weekend. But it's true.
Yeah.
If you really, like, that might be, like, one of the nerdiest things I've ever said, but tests are fun. Like, I actually had fun taking the SAT. I had fun because
Could never be me.
I didn't study for that, but I just went in and I took it, and I took it multiple times, and I kind of focused on the things that I knew rather than everything that I didn't. And I think that's another key for motivation. Go into a test, no matter how much you actually know, you have to think, oh, I know everything, right? Like, I'm so
if you
confident.
focus on everything that you don't know, then you go, like, you panic and you, like, freeze and you're like, oh my God, I don't know. And then the stuff that you would have known, you just forget it. You blank it.
Because you're focusing on what you don't know rather than what you do. And it's just it's so easy to get overwhelmed like that. But at the same time, like, you got it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. Me and my best friend in high school, before finals week, we would listen to music to get us, like, hyped to take our finals. But, like, honestly, I think that's a good strategy because life is all about confidence. Like, you have to be confident in everything you do, and school too, you know?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like for me, like, what set my, like, this semester apart from all the other ones was that I, for some reason, kind of, like, confidence, I took on this whole, like, persona of, like, the opposite of procrastination, essentially.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if I take one day out of the week, and this, like, became a routine for me also. So you have to keep in mind, you have to take it as a routine.
Mm-hmm.
So you take one day out of the week, and you do all your homework for the following week.
Oh.
And so basically every, like, Friday, I would do, like, the following week's work ahead of time.
Okay.
So, like, even though, so, like, that's kind of like doing, you know, the homework that you have due, but, like, rather than keeping it until, like, Sunday or doing it the week of, like, on Friday while I was actually at work, I would do all my homework, or even sometimes I'll do it on, like, Wednesday or Thursday. I'll start sometimes on, like, Wednesday to start it off, and then I'll, like, finish it at least by Friday.
Oh, wow.
Get all my homework done, so then the following, like, that weekend, I don't have to do any homework, and then the following week, I don't have to do any homework until Friday again.
That's nice. And I bet that does so much for your mental health too. Like, just knowing, like, having that confidence that
and so, like, other people might, like, procrastinate, and they'll be like, oh, I'm procrastinating because I want to, like, watch this movie, or I want to, like, watch these TikToks. But then you always have that stress in the back of your mind of, like, okay, but I also have this homework I have to do. But this way, I don't have to stress about it, and then I can still watch my TikToks and my movies and, like, go out with friends and, like, you know, drink, go party, like, whatever I want to do, because I don't have the stress of, like, having the homework looming over me.
Right.
And now that we're nearing the end of the semester, we have about a month left. I've already finished 2 of my classes, and then actually almost 3 of them, and then I have 1 more left that I still have, like, a few assignments for.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so, like, everyone else is gonna be stressed about, like, finals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm practically done.
Dude, I need to change my ways right now, real quick, because I feel like you will probably have more fun doing the assignments earlier than rush, last minute late.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know, some people swear by it, so
Yeah. No, sometimes like procrastination, it can work. Like
Yeah.
sometimes if you cram for a test, like I
Yeah.
actually remember some of that stuff better.
Yeah.
Depends on the person, but
But
this is also something to try out because I don't think a lot of people do it because
Yeah.
people are so now in our society conditioned to just procrastinate that
Yeah.
it's like try the opposite. Maybe you might like
see
it.
what happens. Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Might have to try it. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and start just like wrapping up this episode. Do you have any last thoughts or comments you wanted to add in?
What's the best piece of advice someone's given you in terms of motivation?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like I've gotten like I've seen like a lot of motivational like TED Talks and I don't know, like TikToks. I'd say one of the best motivational speakers for this is Gary Vee, if you know who he is.
Okay.
He does a lot of like business related motivation, but also like just general motivation. I would say just like maybe like a piece of advice that I've received about like, you know, pretending like you're already like in that successful place and like acting like you're already, you know, like maybe like kind of like manifestation, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's like thinking about like, oh, I already like got this A on this test.
Yeah.
And so you're like, you know, you're pretending like you already got the A, and so then somehow it just like does motivate you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I love Pinterest in terms of motivation too, because I keep pinning like I have a board called Future, so everything that I like and I want in my future, I'll put on that board.
You vision board it.
Exactly. But I also found this quote. It's literally my computer background. I will show it to the camera. It says, "Move different if you want different."
Oh, okay.
And then at the bottom it says, "Old keys will never open new doors." And I feel like with growth and with, you know, becoming the best version of yourself, you kind of have to do something different.
Yeah.
You have to embrace change, which is something like I struggle with a lot. But yeah, if something isn't working for you and if you aren't feeling motivated, then maybe it's a sign that you aren't meant to be doing what you're currently doing.
I think that's when you need to change and you need to pretend like you're already in the new space, like the future self that you want, and then that's what like motivates you to make yourself better. That's kind of like what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, that's so true. And then I think another thing too, I don't know, I might just be crazy for thinking this way, but I'm very like much hard on myself, and I basically just tell myself like, if you aren't doing it, someone else is. Because it sucks, but that's the way the world is, and we live in a competitive world, and I'm not going to be motivated every day, but I'm going to be disciplined, and I am going to work and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Because the one day I don't do it and someone else is, if I'm competing with them for something, why would I give them that edge, you know?
That is so true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this was a really great conversation. I hope that you guys found some motivation through it, or at least gained some tips for how to maybe find your motivation in life, whether it be college, work, just general life. You can find all of my episodes on either my YouTube channel, which is the It Girl Podcast channel. You can also find it at the link in my Instagram bio. You'll be able to find the link to my Mixcloud. My Instagram and TikTok are both ERIIKA.3. And just thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the It Girl Podcast, a production of the CLU podcasting class. We appreciate all of your support and would love it if you would reach out to Erica on all social media platforms. You can find her on Instagram and TikTok at ERIIKA.3. Reach out and let her know what you would like to hear about next, or send in ideas for current trends you would like her to discuss. Thanks again. Look forward to talking to y'all next time.